Cakey skinwear. It will never be us. It will never be us. We are teamflawless.com, period. I mean, get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasmine. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and join the family because I would love to have you here. So today, your sis is back with another super wearable, easy makeup look because you guys seem to be loving those. So I'm gonna try to keep them coming here and there. I really wanna go for matte eyes and glowy skin. So this look will be basically very beginner friendly. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure you get comfortable and let's get to it. I'm gonna start off by taking this beautiful palette from Sigma Beauty. This is what it looks like, as you guys can see. If you're super into like brown hues for your eyeshadows, you're gonna really like this palette. And I'm gonna start off with this shade right over here, which is called Oasis. And I'm gonna take that on my Sigma x Beauty Bird Dream Large Blend brush. Just start from the outer corner and work my way in. So now that we have our transition color all blended out, I'm gonna go ahead and define the crease. And I'm gonna be taking this darker brown shade called Sunspot. Such a pretty color, guys, to really add definition back into the eye. And this used to be like my go-to look for when I'm in a rush, but I wanna do like a cute glam, you know what I mean? Like if you're going out with your friends and stuff. Super, super easy to do. And you can intensify it by either going in with like a dark eyeliner to make it a nighttime look on your waterline, or go in with no eyeliner during the day just to make it more natural, if that makes sense. So I absolutely love doing this look. And then you're gonna, of course, go back in with the same brush that you used for your transition color and just make sure you blend everything out. Even though this is a simple look, we still want everything to be flawless, okay? We don't want any harsh lines. So take the time, okay, to blend out your shadows. Personally, for me, I have a lot of patience when it comes to eyeshadows. Like I can take 25 bajillion years to blend my eyeshadow just because I thoroughly enjoy it. It's an enjoyable experience for me. I know it's weird, but as long as I have like a good podcast on and I sit down to do my makeup, I just really get lost in getting creative, so I really enjoy it. So I want you guys to make sure you just take your time and enjoy the blend. And if it's not as enjoyable for you, I understand, sis, so make sure you just grab a clean brush and you just use the clean brush to like blend out the harsh edges. And right now I'm taking this clean brush from ColourPop. This is their E2 brush, and honestly guys, it's so big and fluffy, so it's perfect for getting the top blend or just making sure you don't have any harsh lines like I was saying. So I like to use these type of feathered out brushes because it's a lot easier, I find, to blend out the harsh lines at the top, you know what I mean, of your transition color. I feel like the main areas you can tell your eyeshadow is not blended is right underneath the brow bone or like the arch of your brow bone. If it's not blended, you can really see like it being all chunky here. This is the area that tends to expose you because nobody does, you know, the underbrow highlight anymore, at least I don't. But remember when that was a huge trend? I feel like that was a huge trend when I was in high school, and then I feel like that could get away and help you finesse if you didn't blend your shadow properly because you put in some highlight and then it becomes like a gradient effect between the eyeshadow and the highlight, you know? But now, since it's kind of more like matte from when you set, if you carve out your brows or whatever, you're just gonna want to make sure you really blend out this corner right here. So I pretty much just focus my clean brush around here all the way along here, if that makes sense. Now it's time to dive into packing on the matte shade on the lid. So I'm gonna be a little extra and do the most. You guys don't have to do this, but I just personally prefer this step. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you've seen me do this all the time, whether it's a simple look or an extra.com look. So I'm gonna be taking the Sigma eyeshadow base primer in the shade Persuade. You guys already know this is my absolute favorite eyeshadow base primer. It's just like the best one I've tried. Now you might be thinking like this is supposed to be an easy look or simple. Why do we need to go ahead and apply an eyeshadow base just for a matte shade? Like I said, you really don't have to, but this is why I personally prefer to do it. It's just because when you go in with no eyeshadow base or don't clean it up and you apply any shade, whether it's a matte shade or a shimmer, I just feel like you don't really get the true tone or the true hue or like the fullest pigment that you can get of the shade, you know what I mean? So I kind of feel like, why would I want to do that? You know, like today's look, we're not doing a super defined cut crease. It's just really to clean up the lid and just to have something for our matte shade to really grip onto so we get the truest pigment, you know? And that's why I personally prefer to do this step. So I would say if you don't mind being a little extra, go ahead and do that. Like I prefer eyeshadow bases over concealers. Like I don't know how some people use concealer to prep their lids because for me, it just does not work. Like I don't know, I feel like my eyeshadows always start to ball up either way, you know? So I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out with the Sephora Pro Concealer 45 brush. So now it's time to pack in the matte shade, and I'm gonna be taking this nice brown shade right over here. It's called Basque, and I'm gonna pick it up with my Sephora Pro 13 brush. So now I'm gonna take a little bit of this like creamish shade called Days. This is what it looks like. And I'm gonna be using the same brush and just blending a little bit of that shade in, just because I want the actual shade to be not as warm, basically. I kind of really like the combination of the two. You see how that was like such a little change, but I honestly feel like it's a moment because, I don't know, it looks more of like a natural nude shade, which is what I like. And now I'm gonna pick up this shade Oasis that we used as our transition color again on my Sephora Pro number 15 brush, and just start to blend that in to this shade so it's like a nice gradient effect. You guys already know I love me a gradient effect moment, okay? I don't even know what to call it, but you guys know I love those vibes, so that's what I'm gonna do now. Alright guys, so I picked up a little bit of Summer Solstice. I felt like the first shade that I was applying was giving more orange tones, and that's not what I was looking for. So I went in with a little bit of Summer Solstice just to deepen that shade to my liking, and I honestly feel like I like that a little more. And I just used the same brush and just took a little time to blend it in. And I'm really happy with how it looks. I feel like it's giving. It's definitely giving. So now for the final step of this eye look, I'm gonna go back in with the same Sigma brush. This is their E25 blending brush that I used in my crease, and going back in with the same brown shade Sunspot, this one right over here, and just blending it into this shade Summer Solstice, just so that it flows. If you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you know I love a 3-tone blend, okay? I feel like if any look is my signature, that's probably my signature blend, honestly. It's my comfort zone, okay? And you wanna make sure when you're blending it in that you have the lightest amount of pressure, because you don't want it to be super harsh and take away from the color of the other shade that we just blended in. So I'm gonna leave the eyes as they are right now and then jump back into it after we do complexion and do like the final touches and stuff. So for complexion, I'm actually gonna start off with a little bit of eye cream just to hydrate my under eye. And I'm gonna take my Belief Moisturizing Eye Balm. This is like my favorite eye cream to use if I notice that my under eyes are a little bit dry before I go in with concealer. It works wonders. So I'm just gonna go ahead with a little bit of that. And this is just gonna help, you know, make sure we have some moisture underneath the eyes. And I like to do this step before I go in with my primer or my foundation, just because by the time I apply my primer and then blend your foundation, that means like it really penetrates the skin and it just makes your under eyes more hydrated before you go in with your concealer, you know what I mean? So to prime my skin, I'm gonna be taking one of my favorite hydrating primers. It's from M Cosmetics. This is their Face Cloud Moisture Balm. And especially for right now when our skin is getting extra dry because of the colder temperatures and you start to look crusty and dusty, I like to make sure I go in with a super hydrating primer to make sure that my foundation really still blends into my skin. And a lot of you guys always ask, like, sis, how do you get your foundation to look skin-like? And I would say it's honestly all about the way you prep your skin before you go in with your makeup products. You're gonna wanna make sure you have a good skincare routine for hydration if you have dry skin, you know what I mean? So now we're gonna dive into foundation, and I'm gonna be taking my Armani Beauty foundation. You guys already know it's my latest obsession, okay? Like I told you guys before, it gives me very much luxurious vibes, okay? I don't know. I love a bougie foundation. And this is Giorgio Armani's Luminous Silk Perfect Glow Flawless Foundation. Again, I'm in the shade 9. The bottle looks hella greasy because of my hands from touching the moisture balm. And like I said earlier, I wanted to do a very glowy complexion matte eyes. So hence the Luminous Foundation. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some of that on one of my favorite sponges, honestly, from Makeup Forever. This is so, so good. I'm not sure if they have it on the Sephora site, but it is everything. And it's ginormous, so you can blend really fast. I love it. But I'll link it in the description box below for you guys. And I'm just gonna start off with like one pump of the foundation and then just apply more coverage on the areas that I need it. Another major key to have your foundation looking super flawless is you don't want to go instantly with a lot of product, because then you have to take 20 years to really blend it in and it's never gonna look not cakey, you know? You want to just use a thin layer first and then take an extra pump on the areas that you need to spot correct or the areas that you need more coverage. So then the rest of your face just looks more skin-like. You don't want your face to look cakey. And sometimes I feel like I go on makeup TikTok and I see some girls doing the absolute most, applying like a whole bottle of foundation to their face, like literally. If you're on TikTok, you know what I mean. They use like the whole bottle in one application, and then all of a sudden at the end of the video, their makeup is flawless.
Okay, girl, bye.
I don't believe it, first of all. I'm very suspicious about that blending process because a lot of times they cut things out and it's all about editing, because I'm like, there's no way you put on a whole bottle of foundation on your face and then it's flawless at the end. You definitely wipe some of that off, sis, behind the scenes and then finished your face, okay? Because I don't trust that. But also it makes me think like you guys have to definitely be on PR lists because you're just moving reckless with your products. Like even for me, even though I do get products in PR, I am very stingy with how much I waste. Like I don't want to waste my product. I want to enjoy it. I want to be able to get a lot of use out of it. I like to make sure I go in with an amount that I actually need. So I feel like that's low-key shade, but
did I do that? Did I shade? Not a shader, I'm a sunflower. It's outside in the sun.
I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just trying to say, like, who wants to waste product, you know? So I'm going in with an extra pump right around my chin area because this is where my foundation always tends to separate the most. Even though low-key, I really don't need to be doing this because I'm just filming this and then I'm gonna take it off. It's just for the principle to show you guys how I like to blend out my foundation. So now we're gonna go into concealer, and I'm gonna be taking a concealer that's not from Too Faced for once in my life. Okay, you know how much I love the super coverage concealer, but today I'm gonna switch it up with my Rare Beauty concealer, which is also one of my top faves, hands down. And this is in the shade 400W. I really like the shade because it looks super natural on me, and I don't want my under eyes to be overly bright for this makeup look. Like we want everything to be as natural as it gets, even though we are not anywhere near natural with this look. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit right around my mouth as well, and right here. These are just the areas that I like to have a little bit more coverage with my concealer. So I'm gonna go ahead with my same Makeup Forever sponge and blend that out. And then I'm also using my concealer to carve out my eyeshadow just to make it look more snatched and lifted. I feel like doing this step actually really lifts the eye, if you know what I mean. I just personally like the look of it. If you want the eye look to stay more on the natural side, don't do this step. But if you want a more cleaned up, lifted look, this is really my favorite step to do. So normally I just go ahead and set my under eyes, you know, that's the drill. But today I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna go in with 2 cream products. You guys already know my favorite duo of cream products is Cosmetics So Soft collection. I'm obsessed with the cream bronzer and the cream blushes. They're so pigmented and they blend onto the skin like butter. I actually filmed this look originally for a sponsorship on Instagram. This video is not sponsored though. And I kind of thought, okay, before you guys ask me for the full tutorial of that look, because I basically did a quick short Instagram reels, I'll like insert it on the screen somewhere here so you guys can see what I did. But it was basically like a quick sculpting tutorial, you know? So for the bronzer, the shade I'm gonna be taking is Nomadic, and for the blush I'm gonna be taking the shade Passion, which is like a nice orangey tone. It's really, really pretty on the skin. So I'm gonna go ahead first with the bronzer. But the reason why I'm taking my cream products first before I set my under eyes is because I see a lot of people on TikTok when they use cream products, they blend that out first and then set their under eyes. So I was like, why don't I try a different technique today? See if I like it more in reverse, if that makes sense for me. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today. And to blend out my bronzer, I'm gonna be taking my Sephora Pro Foundation 56 brush. I think I may have been converted to this method of blending because I actually get the logic behind it now. Because let's say when you're going in with a cream product and if you mess up a little bit on your concealer, or let's say you blend the bronzer a little bit higher, like for me today, I feel like I blended it a little bit higher than where I would want it to be. I can easily just go back with my sponge and take whatever excess product of my concealer is on the sponge and fix it. I think if I'm doing cream products from now on, this is what I'm gonna do. So now I'm gonna go in with the blush in the shade Passion as well. And I'm gonna be taking it a little more higher up because I learned from TikTok as well. I honestly spend so much time on TikTok, so at least I'm actually gaining something out of it and like learning new methods of, you know, snatching up our faces. But yeah, they always say to apply your blush a little bit more higher up on your cheekbones because that helps give your cheeks like a more lifted look. Whereas when you apply it more lower down, it kind of makes your face look a little more fuller, or it gives you more of like the flushed look. And I'm just like, who wants to be flushed? I want to be snatched. So I'm gonna apply it in the areas you guys are telling me that will get my face snatched and on point. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, and I'm gonna be blending it out with my Sephora Pro 99 blush brush. And it's honestly the color for me, guys. This is my favorite shade to use from their blush actually, because I've recently discovered a new passion for orange blushes. I never realized how beautiful they are on the skin, like orange and like corals, you know? Because a lot of the times I used to get intimidated by them and stick to the pinks, you know? Like the mauve pinks especially. I'm like, oh, those complement my skin more. But now I'm playing around with blushes. I tried a Fenty purple blush that was trending on TikTok. I loved it. Look at me out here experimenting with blushes. Jasmine 2 years ago would not be caught dead with different blush colors, but honestly, as long as you blend it out nicely and it's not a shade that's like supercrazy.com or a shade that won't work for your complexion, you can make it work no matter what. Alright, so under eyes are set, and then I also set my face with my setting spray. So what I went in with is my Milk Makeup Translucent Medium Setting Powder, and this is their Blur Set Matte Loose Setting Powder. And then I set my face with this Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Set and Refresh Spray. You guys already know I told you about this in my Sephora VIB sale recommendations as well. Do you see how it has my face glowy and looking flawless, and I didn't even apply highlight yet? Let me just say, it's giving, okay? Cakey skinwear. It will never be us. It will never be us. We are Team Flawless.com, period. I mean, get into it. And now we're gonna dive into highlight, and I'm gonna mix 2 of the M Cosmetics Sunscape highlighters today. I'm gonna take the shade Legendary, but I'm also gonna mix a little bit of this shade Serenity, because that's what I did when I originally created this makeup look for Instagram. And this is what the shade looks like. And I'm gonna pick it up on my Sigma E40 Max Tapered Blending Brush. And then I'm just taking this Rifa number 3 brush to get that nose highlight. It's such a teeny tiny brush, so it literally makes it perfect for those of you guys who like a very defined, narrow highlight, you know what I mean? You really can't tell me anything about my flawless face today because I'm feeling myself, I feel like I snapped, and I hope you guys like it too because I'm so happy with it. I really want you to get your hands on these highlights and thank me later because they're seriously, like, the formula is really changing the game of highlights in my eyes. And like I said to you guys before, I haven't been this excited about highlighters in a while. So we're pretty much done with the complexion. I'm gonna dive back into finishing the eyes, and I'm gonna go in with this eyeliner from Nabla Cosmetics. This is their Cupid's Arrow Full Color Stilo in the shade Arrow 2. It's like a really nice brown, and I feel like obviously, you know, brown tones will really complement this makeup look. I don't wanna go with a black because that will make it look a lot more harsher and like bam than I want it to be. You know, we want chill, sultry vibes, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm gonna do now. And you can see how natural that brown is, guys, but it still adds definition to the eye. I really love it. So I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. mascara now as well. This is their Big Mood Mascara. Mascara is done, lashes are on, and I'm obsessed with these lashes from Tati Lashes, guys. This is in the style TL7. I think it's just really pretty, and I used a lash curler just to like curl them a little bit more inward because I think it looks so cute like that. So now we're gonna complete the look with our lip combo, and I'm gonna go in with this lip liner from Boxum. It's in the shade Creamy Chocolate. You guys know this is one of my favorite lip liners, and I'm gonna top it off with this lip cushion from M Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Faded Clementine. I'm really obsessed with this formula from them because it's just so beautiful on the lips. You guys will see in a second. It's very pigmented, but it gives me like glossy vibes too. So it's perfect for this time of year because it keeps your lips nice and dewy. Whereas like a lot of the times, you know, some people might shy away from matte lipsticks in the winter because they don't want their lips to look hella dry and dusty, you know? So anyways, I'm gonna go in with my lip liner first. Alright guys, and this is the final lip. Is it not a moment? I really feel like it's so pretty, guys, because it's kind of like a pop of color, but an understated pop of color. And I like that the lip is not too pigmented because it makes it more natural in my eyes, you know? I feel like I can wear this lip on a day-to-day and it's still cute. It ties into the darker hues that we wear during this time of year, but it's still giving color. It's still giving what I needed to give. But yeah, guys, that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on. You guys already know the drill. And follow me on TikTok if you haven't already. I'm gonna try to be posting there more often. So make sure you guys check me out there as well. And like always, I'll see you guys in my next video.